how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Gorge. This just came out February 14th, 2025 on Apple TV+. The movie was directed by Scott Derrickson. Horror fans know him for things like The Black Phone, Deliver Us from Evil, Exorcism of Emily Rose, and Sinister. Some cool stuff. Of course, he also did the first Doctor Strange movie, so yeah, he's got a lot of impressive work that he's done. Anyway, this movie stars Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, and for a lot of the movie it is just the two of them, but keep an eye out for a special appearance from Sigourney Weaver. Now, I will say, I saw the trailer for this, and I saw that it was getting pretty decent reviews. I wasn't super excited for this. It looked like just another spy action thriller movie, and a lot of those are done so seriously and so formulaically. I saw the trailer and I didn't see where it had any room to really surprise me. Oh, we're not supposed to be together, a bunch of confinement stuff, and then monsters and the end, you know? But having seen the movie, I will say, it is better than I thought it would be. And maybe I'm not really the target audience for this kind of film, but I will say it was fun enough and it did surprise me a little, and there were definite areas, in particular with the Gorge itself, where it did a lot more than I thought they would, and there was actually a lot more horror in it than I thought there would be as well. So it did pan out pretty well. Not my favorite Derrickson movie by any means. I'm always gonna gravitate towards the more straight up horror ones, but for what it was a fun little movie, and I can definitely recommend it in that regard. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, what's the movie about? No major spoilers, but basically we get two spies, one from America and one who's living in Russia, and they're both like expert snipers, like the best of the best, and they each get recruited to this mission. We follow Miles Teller's character to the Gorge, and the last person there is kind of showing him the ropes and what he's supposed to do. Basically, there's this big chasm in the ground, there's a bunch of landmines and automatic turrets, and a lot of what he's going to be doing is maintenance, replace the bombs when they go off, reload the guns, and just keep an eye out and make sure nothing gets past them. If anything crawls out of the Gorge, shoot it. Your job is containment. Whatever's in there, keep it in there. And of course, the big thing, you have your watchtower, and across the Gorge is going to be the watchtower for the eastern countries, and that's where Anya Taylor-Joy is, and you are not supposed to contact her. Just keep an eye on the Gorge and keep us safe. And you do get a bit of mystery, you know, you don't know why it's here. He says that it's been here since the 40s, and even the presidents don't know about it, and there's special cloaking technology so it doesn't show up on satellites, and there is a little bit of mystery. But the thing is, and what I thought this movie would be, judging from the trailer, I thought it would be kind of more about the confinement. I thought it would be about the isolation and like the mystery of what's in the Gorge, and of course like a Rear Window style romance maybe, where they're looking at each other but it's forbidden love and you're not supposed to even contact her. But surprisingly, a lot of this section of the movie goes by really quick. Like Anya Taylor-Joy just says, "It's my birthday and I want you to talk to me," and without really worrying about the consequences, they're just chatting it up for a while and having fun. And like going over and seeing her, like I thought it would be like a life or death thing, like I have to rush over and save her, but she's just like feeling kind of lonely and depressed, and he's like, "I gotta go," and just zip lines over, which isn't a spoiler, that's in the trailer. So yeah, this whole forbidden romance and the chasm separating us, that is over surprisingly quickly, and I thought we were gonna milk that a lot more, and that certainly would have been a cheaper movie if it was just a confinement thriller, maybe, you know, finding clues around the base, trying to figure out why you're really here. I thought it would be much more of a slow burn in that regard, but we actually get into the Gorge relatively quick, which explains why we sped through those last few plot points. And I'll try to be very sensitive about what I say about the Gorge, because again, there's a reason they kept most of that part out of the trailer. Although I will say, I kind of wish we got a little more of it, because when we got to the Gorge, it was a lot more interesting. Keeping it vague, I will say two things. One, I can totally see why they got a horror director to do this movie, and that's also why I was more interested in it. There are some scary things in the Gorge, and some very creative things. I honestly thought that you wouldn't see the Gorge for most of the movie, and then when you went down there, there'd just be some Demogorgon knockoff, and then we'd be done. But no, it's actually a substantial section, and there is also part two, a little bit of mystery when we do get to the Gorge. There's a little bit of plot here, and the Gorge origin story is fairly interesting. So I will say, I actually was pleasantly surprised with how long we were down there and how much we did when we were in there. Honestly, kind of the selling point of the movie, and if they had figured out a way to market what was in the Gorge without spoiling it for us, that would have got me to watch this movie a lot quicker, because I kind of thought it would just be Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy staring at each other for most of the runtime, and it's not really that. There's more action in this movie than you might think. Now, I will say, in regards to the movie's like real problems, it's not too bad, but one of the things is the middle is actually more interesting than the end. The final action set piece is not near as good as what we were doing in the middle, so a weird pacing issue. But also, when it comes to the stuff in the Gorge, a lot of it is CGI, and it's sort of a thing, is it's not bad. It's well done CGI and you can see the money, but I think after so many years of Marvel films, I kind of have a sense of numbness to spectacle films, which when you talk about wanting to do spectacle, you really don't want that sense of numbness. But honestly, even though it looks good, when I see that a lot of what they're doing is CGI, and even though they have fun sweeping camera movements and, you know, cool designs for the monsters, I really wish we would step away from this and try to do as much practical as we can, because, you know, there's a certain part where it's like, oh, that's computer imagery, I've seen it before, and maybe I'm just being a curmudgeon, I will say that. But yeah, spectacle films haven't felt spectacular in a long time, and honestly, I would kind of rather see people in elaborate costumes nowadays, but whatever. Maybe that's a weirdly specific gripe, maybe that's just me, blah blah blah, movies were better back in the day, am I right? But whatever. Overall, like I said, while a large part of it really does fit into that sci-fi horror action movie stereotype, it did come out better than I thought it would be, and overall it was fun enough, and the leads do have good chemistry, and it was good, but again, not groundbreaking and kind of generic, but more of the action movie than the confinement thriller I thought it would be. But hey, some cool world design anyway. So all that being said, it was fine, not my favorite. I'm definitely looking forward to the Black Phone 2 more than I was for this, but that might just be me, I don't know. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my 2025 movies playlist, where you can see me talk about things like The Wolfman, Heart Eyes, and The Monkey. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.